How's it going? How's it going? Before we vibe code, we're gonna regenerate some stuff. Do I have Og Drop on this machine? Yes. Oh, this is the best program. I've used it for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And years and years and years and years and years and years and years. Okay. So we're gonna Og Drop these puppies. Dude, are they going so fast? I just barely dropped them. Sounds. Why is this sound? Boom. Place. Replace. But we will add this one. Add. All right. Let's. Yeah. Let's just make it a debug build. Debug build. Dude, Og Drop is the best program. The little fish rotates. You couldn't really see the fish rotating because it dropped our Ogs so fast, but... Alright, let's make sure.
Huh? What just happened? What is this place?
Mr. Quigley, the entry portal is closed a bit sooner than expected, so I'm on my own for the time being. Status on my harness is lavender as expected, so I believe I can pull the ripcord any time. But in case I become lost, I'll leave copies of my notes should you send someone after. I'm standing in an anteroom. The decor is very strange. Whoever made this, we haven't seen their works before. These chambers were made for a large gathering, but the place is empty. Still, I feel as though I'm being watched.
Could have sworn. Yeah, so here's why it's addressed to someone different. This is like basic game design. Because you're playing a woman at this point in the game, and if he addresses a woman with a note like that, then the natural assumption is that it's to your character, but it's not to your character. And whereas half people in the world are female, you just don't want to introduce that ambiguity, right? So you make it a dude. I don't quite like it being a dude as much, but it is, and it doesn't matter anyway. Okay, what did I call this one? Sokoban Overworld. All right. Yeah, you just... And the thing is, I didn't want to change it. I didn't want to change it at all. But the thing is... why did I fall there, by the way? Oh, because I was jumping down. Right. Like, you just have to take these things really seriously. And a lot of the times when games have mistakes in them, it's because people kind of know these things at some level, but they don't register them or don't take them seriously enough, right?
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange.
Okay, wait. That wasn't the whole thing. What is going on? Why didn't it do the whole thing?
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange.
Is that all that went into the audio file? If so, I will delegate this. Let's see.
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange.
No.
I found it easiest to make progress in the north and the east. West is treacherous.
Okay. So why are we stopping the thing early? So 6.84 it says.
I've scouted the local area quite a...
That'd be around there, which is correct.
I found it easiest to make progress in the north and the east. West is treacherous.
Why do we think, does anyone have bets on why this is happening? It's kind of weird. Okay, let me just, I'm going to restart and see what happens. Like, is it still messed up or does it fix it? You hate that it says progress. It's fine though. Why am I here? Like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm probably hard-coded to go there, huh? Yeah. That was not what I wanted. This, we're not going to use this for real. We're going to replace it with actual acting. So don't worry too much.
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange.
Yeah, why does it stop playing? Why does it stop playing? Now we're going to do a thing that all the high level language people wish they could do. We're going to, we don't have to do this, but we're going to attach to the process. Remember when we were able to attach to processes? Okay, so question is, oh, you know what's probably happening is the sound player is dying. Maybe we're never playing the last thing. This is a little bit goofy. Maybe we should not be making issued sound entities for these at all. The thing is, okay, so there's this issued sound entity. This is my guess on what happens. We make an entity, but we're also playing the sound in the backend sound system. And the entity is going away probably because when we play the audio, if I go to the subtitles file, right, we have a timestamp here, but we don't have a timestamp for what's the end. So we might then be defaulting to this plus some amount of time. Or we might actually be correctly looking at the time of the audio file. However, we may not be doing that. And you would think that that makes sense, and it does. But the reason we may not be doing it is because way back when I was doing temp voice manually, I found it easier to just record a bunch of things into one file and leave bad takes in there and all that and not edit it and just like have pointers in that file with timestamps, right? And so you couldn't really assume at that time where to stop playing. Now you could, but if I program that, it'll go bad later because what's really going to happen in the end is these are all going to be packaged together in frickin' WYs or something. So we need a way to deal with that. So maybe we don't create issued sounds for these at all. Which would mean honestly, it's probably fine to do that. Okay. Yeah, story stuff going in. We can validate that is... Let's validate my theory that this is what's wrong by stopping when we play the sound. Okay. Thanks, Windows, for making very loud noises. So when I go here, we said voice log last night, right? So I'm just going to go there. And we're going to see what it creates. And my theory is that we don't want to create an issued sound entity for this because there's actually no reason to do that. We don't there's all sorts of reasons not to do that. Like in Braid, the reason we would create entities for sounds is because we wanted those sounds to rewind correctly and all that and get journaled in the undo system and all these things, right? In this game, you don't want audio logs to go backwards if you undo a move. That's just not what we're doing here, right? That would suck. So, yeah. So that removes the main justification for doing the thing that may be causing the problem right now. Okay. We're adding an extra half second for reasons. All right. So T1, yeah, T1 is 6.8. So we're going half a second past 6.8. I don't know why some of the other audio logs even ever worked, but oh, the reason why is because if you remember, I only put in the shut off last night, right? Like the flagging and the shut off was not working correctly. All right, so we're just going to try doing this differently and we'll see what happens. So we're just going to get rid of this. No, we're not going to do this at all. We're not going to do any of this. Actually, here's what we could do. See, I could still create this entity, but if we untie the existence of the sound in the actual sound mixer from the entity correctly, then the code will work, and then we can just get rid of the stuff that creates the sound entity, right? The thing is, we don't really have a way to play a sound that doesn't make the entity right now. Although, yeah, we can just make that. This is all temporary code anyway. It's fine. Okay. So, let us go to the thing. Here's what we're going to do. We need to make sure that if something is voiceover, and I don't know. Let's see if there happens to be a flag in the mixer mod, the sound player module. No. So we can make a user flag. That's allowed. So we'll make a flag that sort of extends this. All right. That's a U32. So, bro, people, ugh, don't do that to me. Okay, so we're going to make a totally separate function, which sounds like bad style, but we're going to play voice log mixer. All right, we're going to get rid of this. We look it in the sound catalog. Get rid of that. Well, we can do that. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now, there's no tweak source. All right. Where is this? Is it in sound catalog? Yeah, we don't want to make any of this entity stuff. Oh, but see, that is the only way right now that anything gets into the entity pass. See, here's where we create streams. Okay. New plan. New plan. This is a little bit wasteful. Here's what we're going to do. Okay, like I said, we're going to follow through with the part that involves not caring about the entity. We're going to let the entity exist for a second. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to auto destroy the entity like in this loop, which is also messy. But like, again, this is... this is all temporary code, right? So, okay, yeah, we want to do SoundStream user flags. Let's just add one. People might want that anyway. Whatever. All right. So, we just create it normally. Okay. Now in here, what we want to do Wait, where's the thing that flags things? I think we're just not... Why are we not flagging things? Because maybe I provided... What are pre-entity update? Marked. Keep. Config.keep sounds alive by default. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's actually... That actually torpedoes my theory about what was happening, though, but... Does anyone set marked in here? Only that when we create. I don't, unless we actually don't. So that was the default that I was looking at. What was it called? Config keep sounds alive by default. Let's look for that, just in case we set it. We are certainly rat holing right now. Okay. This is weird because I'm pretty sure my theory about what's happening is mostly correct, but it's off by a little bit. Because my theory is, so the way the system is supposed to work in one of the modes is that you set marked every frame on these, which means that you want to keep the sound. And anything that you don't set marked on gets gracefully faded out, right? And that way you can just destroy entities and treat them as entities, and the backend system will just sort of follow that, right? But we are not using the system in that mode. So maybe there's some other old piece of code floating around killing off the sound. Like in simulate, that's... Let's see. Let's just... Okay, back in this file that we're in. Play music. All right, we're just looking for old music and getting rid of it. We're not even using that right now. Sounds simulate. Okay, yeah, it's this. The problem is... Okay, I don't know why this is causing the sound to stop, but it probably is. The schedule for destruction. Maybe there's something in Entity Manager. Maybe there's something in Story. Okay, well this is fine. So this though, This is killing the sounds somehow. That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. This makes sense to me because we're going to the back end and messing with the sound streams. All right. That's fine. I guess we can just find out, hopefully, so we'll see if we, oh God, what the, we'll see if we hit this. There's like some functions that stop a stream abruptly. I can't read anything in Visual Studio. We saw these yesterday when we were looking. Stop stream abruptly. Yeah, so we could set breakpoints in those. What is going on? Maybe we never call this overload. Bro! Maybe we just never call these at all. Let's what's something that we know we call like here? Okay. It doesn't have the line numbers right. Is there a Control J in this fucking file? Sorry, Control M. No. Dude, I have no idea what's going on here. It's got the line number. Maybe we edited it when I wasn't looking, or when I was looking. So that's a problem if I can't
area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange.
Okay. So somebody set fading out. That's good. Now it wasn't silent. It shouldn't be silent this frame. Unless we restricted the play window when we play. Oh. 150,842 divided by 22050 equals 6.84. Do you recognize that number? Do you recognize that number? Okay, we have bridged the gap. We have fallen into the gap. So the reason it's happening actually is that when we play sounds, we look at the end point on the issued sound entity, which is incorrect. to restrict the range of the play. All right. And this, we haven't noticed this until now because this code is literally not used by the entire game, right? We were only using it for audio logs, or not just audio, but like character barks and stuff. So, and those were temporary and flaky and whatever. Okay, so when we do this, then I'm just gonna So is this my lifetime getting overwritten? Is the question. Because we're copying it out of the sound data to start. Okay. Where was the stuff with the T0 and the T1? So we have play voice. No, we're still at play bark because I reverted that plan. Okay, we're down here. This thing. We're overwriting it. Okay. Now this is still not the greatest, but it should at least not be egregiously wrong anymore. Who wrote the sound module? Me.
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange. I found it easiest to make progress in the north and the east. West is treacherous.
Okay, so that's fine. We're just not drawing the subtitle now. And that's probably because, yeah. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to add, when we generate these, we're going to regenerate these. And we're just going to add a little blank at the end that says, what is the timestamp when the audio is done? Just a little dude right there. So, like if I do that here, for example, I don't know what's the right timestamp, but let's say it's 12.0, right? So if I play this again, we should see that caption up until 12
I've scouted
seconds.
the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange. I found it easiest to make progress in the north and the east. West is...
Oh, there I probably cut it off at 12.0 still. Wait, what? That's weird. I don't know if there's so many variables. Let's see if hot loading the subtitles file doesn't replace the thing. Maybe it doesn't do it if there's 0 lines in the final thing. We just need to figure this out.
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just... strange.
That was
I
probably
found it
all
easiest to
tabbing.
make progress in the north and the east. West is treacherous.
Okay, so maybe hot loading the frickin' subtitles file doesn't work. Let me just remove the ... that I put, and we're back to the single line. The subtitles in NE2, no, it's just a data structure that gets loaded on startup. That's an array of timestamps plus stuff. And you know, in the Braid anniversary version, there were commands and stuff that we're going to put in here. And we're probably going to have some commands for this game as well, but it'll be rare.
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange. I found it easiest to make progress in the north and the east. West is treacherous.
Okay, so it looks to me like the hot loading is not correctly replacing the subtitles. That is a thing we should fix eventually, but we don't need to fix it now. What we do want to do now is fix our generator so that it adds the ting tangler at the end. Okay. Now this is tricky because like this is an automated thing that reads the text file and rewrites the text file. How does it know whether something is supposed to be the end? You could say if the text is blank, but maybe we want blank text in the middle because you want subtitles to go away and then, you know, have some blank space and then new ones appear, right? So that's not a good thing. So maybe I should introduce just a little bit of syntax where instead of equals, we put like exclamation point and then the end time. And then we could put that number instead of having to search for it, it could be in the record or something. All right. Load subtitles from file. Okay. Right, so we have plus for event. We're going to change this probably. Maybe. Let's see. Does this compile now, by the way? Yep. Okay, cool. Okay. So I guess I put a member called ending timestamp on this. Oh, wait, we have time begin, time end on here. So we can just use those. Never mind. Instead of adding a weird thing, that's better. All right. See, I knew what I was doing when I wrote this. So if I go back to the subtitles, and on this one, you guys are going to get so sick of hearing this, but that's what video games are like. If I do that, that should just work.
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange. I found it easiest to make
It didn't
progress
work!
in the north and...
Why not? Why didn't it work? Like, this is one of these things where there could be more than one bug happening at the same time, right? Okay, we're gonna look at the data structure and stuff. Where's my frickin' subtitles file? Where's my subtitles? Oh, it's in HUD, huh? We saw this yesterday. Draw subtitles. All right, we'll just break in there. Dude, I hate that I have a game directory now. I never know what fucking file anything is in. All right. So we can break here to figure out why the second thing doesn't happen, but let me
area quite a bit.
all right. So we got instant and section. And section should be, yeah, Sokoban Overworld. And it should have the instance. There should be two. And we will look at them both. Right? The first one is time 0. Oh, wait, we're not saving the end time. Okay, hold on. I saw it get parsed. Time end. Time. So sometimes you should just read the code. All right. We parse the time end and then we simply do not use it. Oh, wait. No, we do. It's literally right there. Guy, I can't read. Okay. Time end equals time end. But that's... Oh, that's only for event. That's not for... Okay. Okay, and we're not reporting junk on the end of the line here, I don't think, which is why... All right. So what do we do? A, we put 2 timestamps. And then we output those. B, we have 1 timestamp. And if you want blank space, you actually put blank subtitles in the middle. And then we have a blank for the end, and we ensure that there's a blank on the end. The thing is, if there's only one timestamp, it's much easier for hand entry, I know by experience. But I also might regret this. Okay, let's... That was some confusion that didn't need to happen. It's like when you're trying to solve a puzzle and you're thinking about the wrong thing for a while. That's exactly what I did right there. Okay, so... All right. So where do we write the timestamps? Also, why are we doing this? Anyway, okay. So this is just requesting the audio. Okay, here we have an audio length and samples, which tells us the final thing or whatever. But anyway, so here we fill in the times. And we could just add a final instant here. I'm just going to do this. How much of the compiler is written in the language? 0. 0. Please stop asking. All right. Like people, it's this weird thing that people get in their head that like a compiler is a good benchmark of a programming language. Like games are way harder. Games are like a lot more complicated than compilers for the most. I mean, compilers are getting more and more complicated over time. So I don't know. Maybe eventually it'll be a wash, but also there's a weird thing where like a lot of people who want to get into the beta are people who want to do their own programming languages. And like on the one hand, sure, that's great. I don't mind that. But on the other hand, like it's great to be motivated and interested in programming languages and want to be doing stuff. But like there's also this weird thing about like people who want to use your language to do like their language that they think is going to be better. It's like, I don't know. It's a little weird when something's still in beta if like a lot of people want to do that. It's weird for me, at least. I don't know. Maybe you just understand implicitly why. Maybe not. I think it becomes different once it's actually out, right? But like there's a lot of people who are like, dude, I want to make my programming language. And I don't know. I'm not that excited by those. You haven't seen a lot of that? I wouldn't say it's like the majority of the applications or anything. It's just I see it more than you would expect by chance, right? And I've already had just like, I'm also sensitive about it because I've already had mega negative experiences around this, right? Like from multiple directions. So I just don't want to encourage it at all. Seems kind of like the person is trying to spy on the project a little bit, but like, a lot of the time people are just enthusiastic and that's not like, they're just like, look, dude, I want to build my cool programming language, right? And I don't know. It's just weird. I'll just leave it at that. It's weird. It's not necessarily wrong. It's just weird. How much happier would I be if the compiler was written in the language? Well, our build times would certainly be a lot faster. And I don't know, some other stuff would probably be better. Our release builds would not be faster though, because oh my god, LLVM is slow. Isn't there drama of people copying some of the features? Yeah, I mean, people copy the features in a low quality way and then say that they're better, right? So that's happened a bunch, but there's been way worse stuff than that, right? Like, I've had employees do really bad stuff. Employees that I had paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, I don't know. There's something about programming languages that makes people crazy sometimes, I think, is part of it. Because they get in their mind that this is their key to being a famous open source hero or something, right? I could be famous like Bjarne Strostrup or something. And it just makes people weird. Whereas you'll notice, right, I still haven't released this frickin' language because I'm not worried about that. I just want it to be good, and that also creates tension sometimes with when people want to be famous open source heroes. I don't know. There's a lot of dimensions to the weirdness. Famous like who? Hulk Hogan is famous. Oh, I know. That's what makes it. There's this saying about academia, right? I'm trying to remember it correctly, but it's something like the battles are so fierce because the stakes are so low, right? It's like that. It's like, oh my God, I could be as famous as Ryan Dahl, right? It's like, I don't know. I've just seen people act weird and crazy is all I'm saying. Multiple times. I'm not talking about one specific person, although some people have been crazier than people get weird. It's the same way, like, people get weird when what they do becomes really performative because it's on Twitter or on film or something, right? It's like that, but different. I don't know. Just saw a very famous man climb around a flying plane. Does that man believe in thetans? I'm gonna have to go see that movie because I frickin' saw the other movie last night. So I started The Pain. I paid my money. I'm going to see all the movie. Speaking of Pain, I watched episode 3 of Andor finally tonight. Running is his best feature. I mean, he has the very distinctive run, right? That they have to do. They have to do his run in every movie. In 7, they did it like 3 times. The Andalorian. Have I been watching the rehearsal season 2? I have not been watching the rehearsal season 1. I don't even know what that is. Is that the Nathan show? They have this one scene, like the whole movie doesn't make sense. Like 7. I don't know about the one that's in theaters now. The first 3 episodes of Andor are not good. Keep that in mind. Different writer. I thought it's the guy who created the show wrote the first 3 episodes, is what the AI told me. Those episodes are fucking horrible. It's Andor, the TV show about how America needs illegal alien farmers and can't we all just get along? Like, guys. Come on, guys. That's literally the plot of the first 3 episodes. And then also there's a very, very long wedding that lasts 3 episodes. Like, I've seen 3 hours of the show and nothing has happened basically. Like, it's all filler. That's almost 2 movies. I could have watched Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, and instead I watched Andor episodes 1 to 3. That's most series nowadays. I know, and it just makes shows very close to unwatchable. I mean, sometimes they're just literally unwatchable, right? So the thing about Andor is, so even in these episodes, like the writing is terrible. It's like the worst writing in a long time. But the casting is mostly really good. The acting is mostly really good. The costumes are really good. Like, many dimensions of the show are great. It's just the writing is so bad right now. I hope it picks up very soon. You stopped watching the series for that reason. Did you stop watching in season 1 or season 2? I don't remember what you said. You never even heard of Andor? Okay. So I thought Andor season 1. Oh, all series. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I mostly don't watch TV. Exactly. Because it drives me nuts. Like, you can feel it. There's 2 things at the same time, right? One thing is everything is written just to fill time and pad things out. And 2 is all the scenes are written so that you follow one plot thread for the bare minimum amount of time for like the smallest difference in plot to happen. And then you cut and go to the other plot thread for the smallest amount of time for the very smallest difference to happen, which might be 2 minutes because everything is very padded, like I'm saying, right? So there'll be a whole scene of like nothing. And then the very least important thing that could happen happens at the end. And then they switch to the other thread. And you put these things 2 together and it's agonizing, right? It's just really painful, but it's all TV now. Did I watch any of the Squid Game? I watched the season 1 of Squid Game. Tony Gilroy was the main writer for just the first 3 episodes. So here's the thing. I didn't love the first 3 episodes of season 1 either, but they weren't like horrible like season 2. I don't know. Like season 1 was like, oh, I don't love this, but everyone says the show is good. I'll keep going. And then it got really good, right? So I don't know. I don't know, man. Did I watch Better Call Saul? I watched like 1 or 2 episodes and I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. Writing profession had a succession problem, just like programming. They were highly competent graybeards, and now there's a new generation who's completely forgotten how to do the craft well. Yeah. I mean, so Casey was telling me this, because he watches movies sometimes, because on his Substack, they do movie reviews occasionally. And he was saying, if you go back and even watch kind of bad movies from the 1980s, like Home Alone was his example, it's actually amazing the amount of care that went into the writing relative to a movie today. Like there's actually reasons why the major things happen and all this. So yeah, I think people just forgot how to write or stopped caring or something. Yeah. John Hughes wrote Home Alone. Did he? I didn't think. How did John Hughes write so many canonical 80s movies? And then where did he go? Like, where did he do? He made like every movie in the 1980s. And then he disappeared. Did he actually die? In 2009. Okay, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. John Hughes made every single one of those movies except for Heathers, which was not John Hughes. But did he like I don't remember. I guess I could look up his filmography, but I can't think of any John Hughes movies from after like the mid 90s. I don't know if he was still making them. See you later, dude. All right, we could start programming again. All right. Let's try to get this done. Okay. I'm fighting with myself over this because the easy thing to do is just to add another timestamp. But I feel like maybe I didn't love that in The Witness when we did it. Or maybe in Braid Anniversary, but maybe it was fine. So you know what? I'm just going to do it that way right now, and we'll see. All right, so all right, so we want a blank instant at the end. So that we know how long the sound is and how long the final title should go for. We may already have a blank instant though, since we keep reading and rewriting the same file. So check. All right, so need a terminating instant if section.instance. Last is peak section.instance. If last.lines is equal to 0, need a terminating instant is false. All right, so this is the sort of thing that just could go wrong though. Like I don't love the code that I'm typing right now. So what's the total number? Audio length in samples divided by sampling. How did we do it before? Divided by samples per second. But we do, I usually cast on the denominator. I don't know if that matters. All right. Oh, I compiled the wrong program, by the way. All right. No. That's count. All right. Like, did I run this from here? Yes. All right. So let's do this. Boom. And boom. All right. Hey. Oh. All right. We put an underscore. That's fine. Yeah. Let's run it again. I mean, we're spending 11 labs credits to do this, but hey, it came out different. The numbers came out a little different. That's fun. All right, so intro before teleporter. We should get one down here. Okay, and then intro 1. Now we're going to re-og drop these because, well, I don't know. They're probably close enough, right? Because we've got new wave files, but it's probably only off by small amounts. Okay.
I've scouted the local area quite a bit, and I just don't understand what is happening here. It's all very strange. I found it easiest to make progress in the north and the east. West is treacherous.
Well, there you go. We found it easier to make progress.
Huh? What just happened? What is this place?
Mr. Quigley, the entry portal is closed a bit sooner than expected, so I'm on my own for the time being. Status on my harness is lavender as expected, so I believe I can pull the ripcord any time. But in case I become lost, I'll leave copies of my notes should you send someone after. I'm standing in an anteroom. The decor is very strange. Whoever made this, we haven't seen their works before. These chambers were made for a large gathering. The place is empty. Still, it feels as though I'm being watched. I'll press forward to find more.
I feel like I should... Like, that's a little too long. It's actually super useful to have the AI voice just to, like, see how happy you are with word choice and all that. I mean, who knows how many times it's going to get revised, right? But I'm just saying, even for a first rough, very rough concept like this, it's super helpful. Like, I almost want to break it here or here. Like, I really don't want these to be super long. But this is sort of written for the first room. Maybe I'll just break it there. Maybe it's, I'll just leave the whole, like, whatever. I'll leave the whole thing for now, but my instinct is I want to shorten it. It's just we're also trying to provide enough information about who this guy is, which maybe, you know, by the time we write more from him, maybe a lot of that can have been said later, right? Why is the character slow? What? What do you mean, why is the character slow? What are you talking about? Okay, so that's great. That was the one thing that I sort of wanted to do before shipping a build tonight, but we can We can work on bonus rounds. Like, I want to change like our campaign strings here. So we have this nonsense string that we draw big. That's just the name of the folder where it lives. I think probably the most important thing to people is the progress level, like how many puzzles are solved, and the date. And then there's some more information that I'm going to want to add to this, but maybe the first step is just swapping font sizes here on these two things, right? Because nobody cares about the file name very much. Yeah, if you just go to load campaign, you should see, you'll see this information, right? Okay. So let's just swap the font sizes. By the way, I don't know if you were on the stream when we did this, but if you look in the upper right of the menu, we actually say when it was compiled, and the revision will be accurate on release builds. And you could tell if you updated since last time. Because I think we actually don't compile shaders after an update now, which is good. All right, we're just going to swap those sizes, and that'll be it for the night, because I still want to ship the build, and that takes like 15 or 20 minutes. We can run a Benny test, and we can... I should have run the Benny test while we were talking about random-ass things. Let me make sure I have updated. Okay. Did I? I'm pretty sure I added this. Is this? Yeah, that's in source control. All right. Let's actually commit what we have done. How do you avoid hiring programs that will waste your money? I have been trying for a long time to figure that out, and I have never figured it out. I don't think you really can. I think you just have to react appropriately when you realize that may be happening. Campaign should show time played. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, maybe like save time is not that important relative to how much you've played, right? We don't exactly track that, but I could add that. Or maybe we do track it. I don't know. You've done fewer puzzles than you expected. What was the number? It's more than 69. All right. 354. Really? That's actually more than I would have guessed, but that's interesting. So if it's linear, we could extrapolate now how many hours of gameplay there are for someone who is a seasoned puzzle game designer. Um, yeah, it's about what I would have thought. That's actually a pretty good pace. So, despite the fact that recently we've had several times when you were stuck on a puzzle for like an hour, which honestly, even though we're working those out, that's not that long compared to some games. Dude, Sausage Tower, I don't know how long I worked on that. Or like River in Miyagakure was like 2 days for me. So an occasional hour is even not that bad, but you know, it depends. Are you stuck in an interesting way or are you stuck in an uninteresting way, right? Um, but yeah, I mean that's a pace of 15 minutes a puzzle, something like that, or 15 minutes. Well, 15 minutes per level, and some levels are like Skipping Stones and Promised, right? Which really throw off the average. So that feels pretty good overall. But of course, there are some significant speed bumps that we got to take care of. Um, yeah, lots of time spent on the overworld. That is true as well. That is true as well. In the playtest, I believe if you were to go look at the files, if the code is working correctly, we're saving backups of the whole undo history for every level, which we wouldn't do in a final build, but we're doing it for now just in case it helps us trace problems later. And so we could compute from that what we could actually generate a histogram of playtime per level from that because the timestamp of every move is saved in the undo data for that move. Although, no, because I mean the thing is that won't work because that's just the um, gameplay timestamp, right? Which goes backwards when you undo. So never mind. Never mind. That would be a lower bound on how long the level was played. Sausage Tower took about 3 hours across 3 sessions. Yeah, I it took me longer, but I played original Sausage Tower. Like the level used to be harder, and I found exploits in it, and so he fixed them, and he made the level more constrained. So I think I don't know. The thing is, Sausage Tower has this problem that we talk about sometimes in this game and try to work around when we see it, which is just it implies that you should be doing something very nasty and tedious and doesn't really provide information that that's not possible or not the right way to go. And so I think that's part of why a lot of people just quit the game on Sausage Tower, right? Is they just start doing something really nasty and tedious and then they give up and then the game requires them to solve the level, right? Anyway, it'll be interesting. Yeah. We're always trying to refine the levels in this game, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right. We are just going to change the font sizes, like I said, for now. And then we'll run a Benny test, etc. How do I find... What is this? Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, why am I'm in the wrong file. What am I? I was thinking main menu because that's what it's called in Braid in the Witness, but it's just called menu here. So I ended up in main, and I was like, my brain was like, I don't understand anything I'm looking at. All right. So we should have a load game. Load game. Wait. Here we go. Here we go. We're just gonna swap these. And it might look stupid. Actually, let's do this. All right. All right. Let's see what happens. You don't remember how you saw Saucer Tower, but you remember it was tedious and nasty. Here's the thing. There's actually a trick to the level that makes it not tedious and nasty. And he tried to redesign the level so that the tedious and nasty version was not possible. But it may still be. I don't know. Okay. Okay, well, we could swap these indents. And then, you know, we'll change what the text is later. What we actually write. But, all right. So x w times O.12 O.10. We're just doing little changes right now. All right. Yeah, the version... Why didn't that work? What? The version that I played... maybe I just didn't recompile correctly. Let's see. The version that I played that I'm talking about that was extra tedious and nasty was... very pre-release, right? So if you played after release, Sausage Tower was definitely revised. All right. What is happening? Why... This number is less than this number. Like, let's... I just want to do something really easy and kick off the build, guys. Come on, man. Okay. I do not totally understand. It's like one of those LLM things where 0.10 is greater than 0.12. I'm just going to keep tweaking the number for now. That number might be getting scaled by a font parameter inside the draw function, which we will want to change later, but that's a potentially disruptive change if many people use that function. So we're just gonna tweak it for now. That's all. There we go. That's great. It's perfect. Not really, but we might also save a screenshot and show it on the right. I don't know. Okay. Awesome. So let's make a release build. That'll take 10 years. Possible to list time played. I don't think we're counting it yet. And I do want to do that, but I want to do several things at the same time. There's going to be a few numbers about just puzzle solve status that get drawn. And I think time played would be better than the date. I mean, maybe we draw the date like really small and light, but time played makes sense for people. Yeah, I just don't want to do it tonight because it's bedtime, and I want to ship a build to you and other playtesters so that you have the new thing, and then I'll go to bed. Number of heroes lost. Well, that's mean. If we count that, yeah. I mean, I could be annoying and count the number of moves and display that in the save file. And then people can try to 100% the game in the minimum number of moves. All right. So we're going to run a Benny test here. Number of moves would be insane. I mean, the thing is, number of moves is... There are puzzle games that make you try to optimize number of moves, and they kind of suck, right? Usually. But as an optional whole game challenge for a really big game like this,
What just happened? What is
there's
this
some
place?
people who just like that kind of thing. However, I just kind of wonder, like, the game is big enough that few enough people are going to get to the end that, like, I don't know. That said, I mean, you know the internet, right? Like, we'll release the game, and there will be several people who 100% it in the first week and have videos of on YouTube or whatever, right? Like, there's people who have already played frickin' the new Doom game like 10 times on Nightmare. Or Super Ultra Nightmare, like whatever. Oh, are you getting game audio? Sorry, I'll turn it off. I turned it off for me, and I thought because I wasn't looking at you that you couldn't see me. Sorry. I just want something I can never have. I just want something I can never have. What do we talk about while the Benny test is going? Any questions about technical aspects of the game that anyone would like to talk about? How do you handle the save files? Yeah, they're binary files. Heap-like headers. I don't know what that means. I don't know what heap-like header means, but there's definitely versioning. And sometimes the versioning, if it's entity files, we save version per entity type. So we save a little section that's like the name of every entity type and what version that entity type is at. We talk more about what we did with the engine to try and make artist workflows nice. I mean, that is a broad question. I don't know what I can tell you without a more specific. I will request a more specific question. What game do I play to unwind? That's not. I'm not a civilian. How did the voice audio generation format thing end up working out? Do you mean the conversion for sending it to their API? I did not do that, but our new person on the team did it, and like it's a 400 line program to do everything, but that's not that much. You know, this is the whole program. You know, we basically put in character name and voice ID, and we send it to the server, and it's not that bad. Do I believe in AI for art/assets? I think that is a very broad question, and you would need to get more specific about what aspect does the AI play. Anything to deal with bulk embellishments like entity brushes. So here's the thing. In this kind of a game, with a fixed camera at a reasonable distance, what the format we're editing, it's just that it's literally this file that you saw. Like this is what I type, but I just don't put the timestamps. So with entity brushes and whatever, that's much more useful for like a first-person game or just something trying to have a lot of verisimilitude and stuff. In a game like this, we don't have a lot of occasions for things like that, right? This game isn't Assassin's Creed or something. But, you know, I would say artists copy and paste a lot from other levels and then rearrange things to look new. What am I reading these days? I have not been reading anything lately. Yeah. The last thing I tried to read was the Keanu Reeves book with what's his name. And I couldn't do it, dude. I got like 15 pages in. I couldn't do it, so I put it on pause. But I'm going to be bringing several books on my road trip. I'm bringing Rashomon. I'll probably bring Dictionary of the Khazars again because I want to reread that. I don't know. We'll see. How are features like context and allocator equal used through the game? I mean, everywhere is the answer to that. Like literally the whole game. How do you finally end up to structure game update versus render update? I mean, I would say we haven't tried super hard to solve that problem for this game. This game has less of a frame rate dependence than a lot of games do because it's not really physics based, right? When things are like physics based and you need consistency, that's when it gets really hard. For this game, we don't have that. However, we do have some stuff that is frame rate dependent right now. So like when your character walks from square to square, there's just acceleration and deceleration on it. And that just is kind of frame rate dependent right now. Book of Elsewhere. Yeah, I didn't think the writing was good. Hate to say. So, I mean, I'll try reading it some more, but I didn't get very far in it. All right, are we done yet? Are we done yet? No, this won't even complete. Do I ask to implement some data structures in interviews? Usually no, because usually the people that we are trying to hire are a little more senior than that. Right, and so you wouldn't say, please implement whatever the hell, right? you would ask that person about what they had done and how and why and what was interesting about it is generally what we do. Did we achieve frame rate independence and rate anniversary? Approximately, yeah. Approximately enough that it's fine. All right, so that has completed. Now I'm going to go manifest. This will take a minute or two, but not nearly as long as the Benny test. Bloop, 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 bloop. String to int in C++. Yeah, that's Epic asks that question, I think. They ask people to do string to int. I think they ask them for int to string first, and if you can't do that, the interview just ends. Right? Or no, string to int is easier, I think. I don't know. Whatever, they do the easier one first. I think int to, or string to int is the easy one, right? Has the transaction system seen any conceptual updates? No, the overall system has been pretty much fine. It's just been filling in the details. So that's been good. You can hit like 40 FPS on the full zoomed out world map. That's good. That should go up substantially still. And like there's lots of optimizations to do still. Now that said, there's also not all the real entities on the world map that are going to actually be there eventually. So yeah, there's, you know. Are you supposed to do it by hand somehow? If you don't know how to convert character to int by hand, I'm probably not hiring you. I'm probably not hiring you. If you can't at least describe to me how you would do it, go work somewhere else. Okay. Like if you don't know that, like, wow, man. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of programmers who don't know that, and they just don't do systems programming. They just type into Jupyter notebooks or something, and that's fine, right? And that's fine, but that's not the kind of programmer that we need to hire, right? That's the thing. All right. How do you convert this is a string to an int? You say, well, it depends on the spec. You asked about the spec. You say, do you want me to error on a non-numeric character? Or do you want me to stop and return the remainder, right? This is all obvious. Anyone who's called a string to int function has encountered this behavior and will be familiar with it and will know that you could pass this as a string to a string. Like, obviously, if there's a function called string to int, this is a string is a valid string, and you can pass it to string to int and get some kind of result. What is it? Do you think this is some kind of a trick question? Programmers deal with this every day. What are you even talking about? What are you even talking about? Like, literally, there are string to int functions that programmers call every day. What do you think they do? Something like 35 to 35. Sure, okay. What happens if you pass this as a string to that function? You have no idea. Well, you should know. You should know, because it's quite possible for that to happen. Especially if you pass user input to it, but even if you don't. Why would you pass words to a function like? There's all kinds of reasons. If you're asking me that question, you haven't written a complicated enough program. That's my answer. Either it will yell at you or it will just give you 0. Yes. That's a good answer. Those are two possible answers, right? And so if you're implementing this on the programming interview, you say, hey, what should happen if you pass in garbage data to this function? What should happen if you pass 42 followed by the word Doge? Like right? These are what interviewers are looking for. Interviewers are looking for, do you understand all the things that could happen and what you would need to do as a programmer to deal with contingencies? Like, that's the difference between a good programmer and a bad programmer. You're one of the main differences. All right. All right. Let's run the version that we're about to put on the internet and see. Do we have the right 1145? Yes. Let's run it. Okay, this is a play test. Press enter. All right, so here's the time where maybe the internet dies, but hopefully it doesn't die for that long, because hopefully we don't have to upload that much. Let's see. Get ready. You won't be able to hear me rage anymore. Ready? I'm hitting enter. Boom. All right, we might have had a brief F, but It says 100% uploaded already. I'm going to be daring and not test the build myself, but playtesters can let me know. There's usually these days like about a minute of latency before that becomes visible. Well, yeah, okay, it just finished. Cool. So the latest thing that I've been hearing on the Twitters is that people are asking programmers on video interviews to answer the questions with their eyes closed so that they can't use LLMs secretly. You don't know how 35.2int actually works. Well, that would be a good thing to learn if you expect, well, it would be a good thing to learn. Let's start there. Let's start there. I mean, the thing about chess is it's only a very small amount of information that you need to know. You just need Morse code for one letter and one number about what to move. For answering a programming question, I don't even want to know how much vibration is going to need to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like that Shane Gillis sketch with the OnlyFans dad. Do we keep type info? Yes. How do you optimize it after? What do you mean by optimize? Is that what vibe coding really is? Maybe. Yeah, string to int is really not that hard. It is really not that hard. But you have to know how strings are represented, right? Drop to 37 FPS when fully zoomed out. Well, that is the price I have to pay. All right. I'm glad it's working for you. I don't think there are more entities necessarily, but we're just making random changes pretty frequently. So it is what it is for now. Oh, There's a thing I was going to email you when I sent the build out, but I can just tell you. So as you know from email, I edited that Bard area on the overworld. And I elected not to change the overworld version so we don't reset people's saves. But what that means is if you happened to exit your save when you're standing in a weird place like right there, you might end up in a wall, or you might end up like without the Bard costume on inside the Bard area, or vice versa. You might like be able to jailbreak the Bard power. I don't think so. I think it went the opposite direction, but you know. So I would just, if you're in the Bard area, I would just undo to before you went in there, right? And that'll be pretty safe. But I think maybe you, I mean, I remember you looking at the overhead map. I don't know if you left that area or not. You're at the center of the map. Okay, that should be fine. Should be totally fine. You're just not into programming to that extent. I mean, that's fine. Like, people shouldn't criticize that. Like, that is actually totally fine. Like, not everybody needs to be the most hardcore programmer, right? Just like not everybody needs to be an auto mechanic or whatever. Like, that is totally fine. Like, I get that there is this part of programmer culture that is about swagger and whatever, and that's fine too. But like, not everybody has to be the gnarliest programmer, but some people should be, right? Some people should be. Like, there's just too many things in the world to expect people to do all of them, right? All right. It is bedtime for me. We delivered value to the people. Yeah. And I'm going to bed. Thanks. Let's raid somebody though, because it's been a few streams since we did that. Who have we got? What is up with this? These people, it's always this girl, and I never see an MMO. Developing Exile Manager. Is that a game? Beginner dev experience 4 days. Why does this guy have 300 viewers with 4 days? Is he known from somewhere else? Path of Exile guy. Oh, okay. So he's getting into game development. He's making the move from gamer to game developer. Can we make money AI coding? Yuck. Gotta fix them. This guy looks like Santa Claus. Um, Ever Kindle Studio. Game development, Unreal Engine, and level design. Let's see, is it programming? What's happening?
It's still running away with me.
I mean, if he's just doing stuff in scene layout, that's not good, but
Okay. I need to do a rework of that.
doesn't seem like programming is happening. Okay. I mean, maybe I don't see anything. C# group game jam.
What?
I see. So they're doing Fall Guys clones as a game. This looks too good for. This must be them playing someone else's game as a break or for ideas, right? Like, this is too good for a game jam. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Rip. I don't someone has crabs. I don't really see a lot. We could do Exile Manager. Let's do Exile Manager. All right, thanks everyone. See you later.